and welcome to Being Black and Craft. We don't apologize for recognizing our influence on craft beer. This is Angie, the undeniable vixen, your host, and we have a wonderful guest as usual. But first, I just want to make sure that you remember how you can reach us and how you can see us. We're always live. We're doing a little late night set tonight, but usually 7 p.m. Central. We are available on YouTube Live as well as Instagram and Facebook. Facebook is Black and Craft, Instagram and YouTube is Being Black and Craft. So make sure that you subscribe, like, share, and follow. So I don't want to belabor the time. So let's get into some news. So let's see. First up, friend of the show, Tap 33. So he says, what a crazy ride it's been. So he's completed his training in Germany. Either he's on his way back or he's already back in the States. But you can check him out on a previous show where he talked about being submerging himself in the brewing culture to obtain the Sabel Institute for Master Brewing. So congratulations to him and his fellow classmates. It was a great show, and he was just really excited. So look for him doing big things in Atlanta. Next, I'm going to be kind of talking about some of the different things that are coming up since we have passed Barrel and Flow. I want to shine some light to other festivals that are coming up. And one big one that's coming up is going to be the People's Beer Fest. Now, not only is going to be the beer festival, they also have some educational workshops. So they're going to have a full day of education. The educational workshops were crafted with years of experience in the industry, targeted to top areas opportunities for improvement. So they're going to have DEI action plan for your brewery, crafting success beer branding and marketing, Brew EDU elevating your brewing craft, crafted for all, building a safe and inclusive culture, and then fixins and beer. So make sure that you visit peoplesbeerfest.com or the link on their Instagram in their bio to have classes in session. Also, they're going to have the Nappy Roots. They're going to be the headliners for the entertainment for basically, this is California's largest Black beer festival. So this is really great. And that's going to be on October 12th. So if you're not familiar, October 10th is basically National Black Brewers Day, and they have curated a whole festival from the 10th through the 12th of different entertainment, education, food, the whole 9 yards. So I got my media pass to GABF, so I'll be going. Being Black and Craft will be in the building, and we're going to be doing some exclusive interviews with some of the people that are there. Of course, as I put in my post, I'm rooting for everybody Black, and we're going to be talking to those brewers in the industry. And so I'm hoping that I'll get some really great content and share that information with. So, and that's going to also be between October 10th through the 12th. So your girl is going to be traveling. She's going to be doing some magic tricks with these flights, of course. Now, one thing that I also mentioned or saw through another podcast, which is one of my favorites, Black Guy Who Tips, they posted this news article. So Biden administration allocates $2 billion for Black farmers. So the Biden administration has allocated $2 million to Black farmers and other minority groups as a part of the initiative to address decades of systemic discrimination by the USDA. Over 23,000 payments ranging from $10,000 to $500,000 have been approved with most claims originating from in Mississippi and Alabama. Additionally, 20,000 potential farmers who never received USDA loans are set to receive compensation. However, a federal lawsuit is ongoing regarding a separate $5 billion debt relief in the $1.9 trillion stimulus package program. But that was halted because some white farmers claimed that their constitutional rights were violated. So we've made one kind of concession and one thing, but we're still fighting for another. And I thought this was really great and very interesting because we want to have that ecosystem of having Black farmers when we're using, especially for our beer, those hops, and we're wanting to use our folks to get those hops from. So if they're able to get a leg up, this is really great news to see, and I'm very glad, and I hope that they can get the rest of that money for to help all the people of color that are Black farmers in this industry. So, lastly, wanted to know, did you know that August was Black Business Month? Oddly enough, it is. I know we're coming towards the end, but this month is a call to action for consumers and intentionally support Black businesses and organizations to amplify the voices of Black business owners, helping to drive visibility and growth. Celebrating Black Business Month means acknowledging the resilience, creativity, and impact to Black enterprise in shaping our collective future. So, make sure that you support a Black business even more so during this month. Um, and of course, we're supporting our Black brewers, our spirits, wineries, things of that nature. Check them out. Make sure if you go out and support, or if you can't do it, get a gift card, get something from them, and use it as a present for someone. I mean, it's Virgo season, so get somebody a birthday card, something through that through that Black owned business. So I think that is all that I have. It is. So that is all that I have. So let me go ahead and get our illustrious guest on. Good evening, Mike. How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Awesome. So I know, like I was telling the audience that this is our late night thing, but you are traveling right now. So it's kind of early in the
Yes.
morning. Um, so we're going to make sure that we get you in and get you all settled and get people excited about this rum. So before I get into it, I want to know just a little bit more about you.
Right.
So where do you hail from? Where did you grow up?
I'm originally from Akron, Ohio. Born and
Okay.
raised there. Yeah. I mean, my father's from Liberia, mother's from North Carolina, but yeah, born and raised in Akron, Ohio.
Okay. So do you actually remember the first time that you had a spirit or beer, liquor, anything like that? Do you remember the first time you had a little taste of something?
Oh wow. Probably yes. Probably had a good beer maybe soon after going to college. I think was probably the first time. I probably quite wasn't 21 yet, but hopefully the statute of limitations is beyond us on that.
You were close. Some of us weren't close. We were in bloomers. So
Oh,
you did good. You did real good. So so your dad is from Liberia. Okay, so I was wondering where the correlation was coming up from. So what inspired you, or I guess 2010,
yep.
when you made that trek to Liberia? What other than going to see where dad is from, was there any other things that inspired you to go ahead and make that trek to Liberia?
It's just hearing about Liberia my whole life, obviously, and meeting other family, not just my father, but then others, cousins, uncles, aunts, and hearing about their story. And Liberia's history, is a great one. We take a look at it all together. But during a period when I was younger, it was a very difficult time. So just and I was former military as well. So just understanding like the concepts of things that were happening when the Civil War happened. And I said, it would be interesting just to see firsthand what I've been hearing about basically my entire life. So it was interesting just to go there and see it.
So, the Civil War is like 14 years or so, the
Right.
Civil War. Can you give us a little bit of the history about the Civil War? Why, what was going on, and how things may be, how that may have an influenced you to bring, is it Sangar or Sangar?
Sangar. Yep. Sangar Rum.
Sangar, bring that to us.
Yeah, I think I guess to bring it all together, it's I support a lot of international trade, right? And I would think if you talk about the roots of the actual war itself, I think there were a group of folks that felt that they didn't have the opportunities that they wanted, for whatever reason. And of course, some people can decide to build and have some type of positive solution to that, and others will decide to choose violence, right? And I think some folks decided to choose violence, which I'm very oversimplifying. Of course, there's plenty of other underlying factors, but if there was a root cause, I would say it was that. And then it's sort of bringing all that to what I'm doing for the rum. The rum started as an economic growth and development opportunity. He had an ear news segment about the funding going to farmers, and we
Mm.
work with farmers. We buy sugarcane from farmers there for economic growth and development. And with the rum going to Liberia the first time, I mean, I wasn't in the spirits industry. I wasn't necessarily, even an entrepreneur, at that time. So it's seeing the opportunity where my family had been making rum for many years, over 100 years, but not necessarily commercializing it to the point where they can satisfy all of their financial needs. It was, there was an opportunity there. So I said, well, let's just see, what I could do, what I can bring to the table with what I know, at the time, and see if we can just get to the market and start to serve the market with a new product, and then start to support some of these farmers with what they grow, which is pretty valuable with this type of sugarcane that they grow, and just see what we can do with it. And here we are since 2010. Here we are in 2024, still, still going, still building.
Yeah, okay. So, uh, I did see when I was, scrolling through and looking at the website, um, I saw the different excerpts of YouTube where they were having conversations with the different farmers, and I saw male and female farmers that were just like, seeing their faces, seeing like, really getting um I feel my assumption is, and I'm sure I'm probably true, correct, with getting a decent wage for the work that they've been doing. Um, how were you able to curate that dynamic? Is it because it's several different farmers that you're getting the sugar cane from? How are you able to get that together?
Right, just working with our co-owner and my partner who lives in Liberia, and he works with the farmers to organize them. Basically, we're almost up to 40 farmers now, and male and female, just like you mentioned. And the female farmers to do a great job. Male farmers do a great job. And we're working to find a way to help that process to grow as well, to help mechanize some of the farmers, and so they can be really a force of their own, produce more, and not only sell to me, but then also sell to other parts of the market or wherever they have access to. So it's one of those things that I think it is our purpose, right? When people ask, well, what is your why? And it's really just to create the economic growth and strength that I think it's due, right? It's due for what they've done over the years. It's like, well, you have a great opportunity. Let's maximize that.
Okay. Um, Now I want to be sure that I got this right. So has your family been do they have a plantation they've been making this rum for over 100 years? Is
So
that right?
So the rum has been made for over 100 years in parts of the small town. The small town actually called Sangar, which is the name of the rum is what really actually where it comes from. So my family had been making rum, some on their own individual plantations. Like certain family units would have their own plantation where they would grow their own sugarcane and produce. But yes, my family had been making rum for over 100 years. It
Mhm.
just now we're organizing them together to make or to produce more sugarcane for the production of a rum brand. But it's true. We do have our own land there. But however, we focus mostly on buying sugarcane from farmers in the area, creating a co-op that actually sells the rum to or sells the sugarcane to us.
So cigar rum will be the first exported, it's basically the first exported from Liberia. So what other milestones do you think that means for the country's economy and like the global perception? How has
Mhm.
it been perceived so far?
Yeah, it's been perceived very well. I even there in the U.S. I'm in Germany right now, and I participated in a rum festival in Germany as well some years ago, and most folks have not had an African brand, right? And there's there's lots of
Mhm.
curiosity, behind that, and sort of the exotic nature, of it, and it's been perceived well. Everyone that I've spoken to that enjoys rum, they enjoy the product, itself, and there's a lot of curiosity because a lot of folks just aren't familiar with Liberia. Even in the U.S., a lot of folks aren't familiar with
Mhm.
Liberia. So it's more so an opportunity for education, right? To talk about. So yes, there is sugarcane in Africa. There's farmers in Africa. There's pretty much everything that you can think of, on the continent. But it's just before even talking about the rum, I mean, I think we talk more about just, history, about people, about production, about trade, more so than we talked about the actual spirit itself.
Yeah, I can imagine that probably it's the disproving uh that it is a a city or metro, it could be like a metropolitan place where there's buildings and like people making the assumptions that everybody's in some kind of hut somewhere.
Right,
So and you have to kind of like keep your smile on and like, no, you idiot, we are we are in the 20th century, we are you know we have things just like you have things.
right.
So I can imagine how that could be a little bit of a kind of disheartening, but I'm sure you put on a good face with that.
No, it's good. I just treat it as an opportunity. I mean, it
Mhm.
really is an opportunity not only to talk about the brand, but talk about the farmers, right? And talk about what we're doing. And one of the biggest challenges I think just across the continent is just access to some of the markets, right? Access to trade in the U.S., access to trade in Europe, Asia, wherever else. So our brand is growing in that space and being a pioneer, not only in African rum, but just in trade in general, because there just aren't a lot of products that are produced on the continent. A lot of raw materials leave the continent, but not a lot of production or kind of finished goods are leaving the continent. So, if we can perfect what we're doing and grow and expand, then we can be an example for other companies, not only in spirits, but then other industries as well.
So far, I think you've been in the DMV. Where are you where can you be found so far in the US?
The brand could be found in DC, in Atlanta, and in Houston. So we're in
Okay.
those
Real
markets.
close, real close. I'm in Dallas. We're very close.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, good. You're in Texas, so maybe we can make our way up to Dallas.
Yeah,
And
okay.
yeah, so yeah, that's where we are. And I'm contemplating opening up a newer market, but we'll see. We'll see. I think those
Mhm.
markets are doing well. If we can just establish our footing in those, then we can decide to expand even further. But we're sold also in Europe, if you come to Europe, and also in Singapore.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Now that's interesting. And I think I've mentioned previously in the on the show as far as that market, Singapore, um, uh, trying to think, Japan has been really big with tequila and rum. Has just like shot up out the roof. So how was that get correlating that deal to get in that marketplace?
hmm Yeah, it was interesting. It was actually a gentleman that grew up. I believe his father was an expat in Liberia sometime in the 70s. He um, opened a restaurant in Singapore. It was actually based kind of on a West African theme. And they actually reached out to me saying, "Hey, I grew up in Liberia. I would love to have a Liberian product in my restaurant." And I said, "Absolutely." It's easy, easy. Now, I thought it was an easy thing at the time, but logistics is tough. So we went out there. I met the gentleman. It was great to hear his story about his time growing up in Liberia. And I said, "Well, let's just figure out a way to get it out here." That's right. So most of my challenge, or for me, through most days, is just figuring out logistically how to get the product where it needs to go at a price that actually makes sense. And we did it. We're able to put it together. We still look forward to kind of growing that market. And I spent a few days out there talking to other companies that are interested, just like you mentioned, in bringing in products from Africa, and actually my product specifically. So we're like, okay, let's just figure this out. Let's just figure out how to put those connections, like I mentioned earlier, those trade connections to export goods from the continent to Singapore. And now we're figuring that out, and hopefully throughout the end of the year we can figure out how to make it more regular. Which I think if we can figure that, we can then tell other folks, like if you have garments, clothes, Southeast Asia
Mhm.
at least is very welcoming and open and interested in products that are coming from Africa. So let's just figure out how to do it together.
So outside of logistics, I think that that's one of the biggest challenges. What would be your second challenge that you feel like you are still trying to get conquered?
hmm Well, I think for me, it's just being present in each one of the markets that we're selling in. So to have a spirit brand sort of stand out amongst the others, you
Mm,
typically have to have a presence there, like an actual physical face-to-face presence, having events, tastings, um, just trying to tie into community as much as possible. And for a new brand, it's tough to establish that infrastructure that you would need to be present if you don't, if you haven't scaled up to the level that you can, hire a team or brand representation in every market. So that's really been, I think, it's another challenge. Just saying, okay, how do we go to the market that makes the most sense? The ones that when we get into the market, we can establish it and maintain that market for the long term. Given that how small our group is just it's me, and there's some folks that some really good friends of mine that stuck by us, and some brand representation from time to time in different markets. But just establishing that infrastructure that's needed is probably my next largest challenge.
okay. Um, Tell me as far as the rum, the AB like it is a white rum. Um, and what is the ABV on it as far as like Is it 80 proof
Mhm.
or
It is 80
how
proof.
many? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I
It is
wasn't I was just taking a stab at it. So this is a nice um easy drinking rum. So I can probably just have it on the rocks with it being 80 proof. But I was seeing that it's very giving and loving to making crafted cocktails with it.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah,
anything that
very,
might be
very
your favorite?
easy. Yes. Well, just like you mentioned, this is very easy to drink on the rocks. I think because we make it directly from sugarcane juice, right? And it's not so harsh for you like some other brands that are made from molasses, right? So
Mhm.
so even though it's 80 proof, it'll be a good cocktail and anything that you like. But my favorite is ginger beer, just pure just
Okay.
ginger beer, little lime, some Sangar rum, and then there you go. You pretty much have a good drink for yourself. But then any other the standard white rum drink, it'd be a good complement to it.
So what would be a good food pairing if I was uh in Liberia? What would be a good food pairing with that delicious rum?
Right, that's a good question. There's always argument as to what the best dish is, but the go-to is always jollof rice. A good
Mhm.
jollof rice with a good nice
Ooh,
spicy rice, and then wash it down with an excellent cocktail. That is a good evening. That is a good afternoon right there for yourself. But I always go for jollof rice. But I'm a big fan of Liberian food. What we call GB in the area where my father's from is because of like a fufu. It's a stew, cassava, mixed with a good spicy stew. That's a good one for me as well.
okay, okay. Yeah, you can get into a nice heated conversation with that jollof rice.
Yeah,
Who makes the best? Yeah,
that's
I
right.
mean, it is like knockdown fighting. I was like, I have no dog in this fight. I went to an event where they had a competition of who had the best one, and I was just like, I'm just gonna taste it. I'm not saying nothing because I want to get out of here alive.
Well, hopefully it was a good spirited,
It does.
communication, community building, argument. But no, it's always
Yeah.
fun. And there's some good jollof rice out there, all the way from Senegal all the way to Nigeria. So it's good to taste the different ones. But of course, Liberia has the best. That's just me.
Of course, of course. So, where do you see yourself as far as like the rum? Um, is there any other variations that you have thought of with making this rum? Anything that you see on down the road
Mhm.
um, to expand the brand?
Yes, we are aging. We are aging a rum, so to have a dark rum, that would be the first
Okay.
thing that we introduce, and hoping to have that out by the holiday season. Just getting all things in place. That would be great. But yes, the dark rum, of course. But then we thought about different flavors as well. Some more unique flavors that we can bring from our area in Liberia that will complement our story, right? So,
Hmm.
of course, there's plenty of different flavored rums out on the market, but how many are kind of in the area of fruits and flavors that are complementary of a particular region, and that's what we're thinking about doing. Just have you know to work with our market, maybe some trial and error just to see what makes the most sense, and then we can move forward with production. But we're getting there. We're thinking in the area like mango, maybe plantain as well, which grows out in the area. So we just have to perfect the taste, and then we'll get it out to the market.
Okay. So, when you decided, you was like, you know what? I'm going to get into this rum game. What did your family think about it? As far as like, you know what? I went and now I'm bringing it home, bringing it on stateside. What
Mhm.
was the reaction to from your family? What did they think?
Yeah, it was surprising, I guess I would say. Family's like, "What? You're gonna do what? Where?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this thing over here." But I think with them, they know me, and they know if I have an idea of something that I'm at least gonna try it, right? And I'm gonna try it with everything I have, and just to see what happens with it. And then I think there was enough of a why there for us. I was able to explain what I was doing and why I was trying to get it done. I was able to explain that the land was there, the know-how was there, it wasn't just me. So then it's like, okay, well, you have the raw material there, access to it, you have some land, you have people helping you putting this thing together, so maybe it's not so crazy of an idea.
Hmm.
So then, and then there's a lot of people that I'm thankful have some good trust in me, and they'd say, well, if he says he's going to get it done, he's going to get it done. So I said, all right, I appreciate that. And then, it's just a series of small steps to get to where we want to be. I'm a pretty persistent person. So, yeah. So here we are, years later, and,
Okay.
with a brand that's still growing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So outside, I know you're in Germany for a festival. What other, because I guess I don't know about any rum festivals like I would have never known because I love
Mhm.
Germany.
Mhm.
Other festivals that are out there that you get involved in as far as like exposing the rum to.
Yeah, just before coming here a few weeks ago, I took part in the Black-owned spirits event in New York City, which was good. It was a good event to go to, and we were thinking about expanding to New York. And it was good just to get out there and then to see or have some of the market to taste our brand. But normally for me, for festivals, I'm pretty selective for these events that I go to. Like I mentioned, there's the one in Germany, and there's one actually just started in West Africa in Ivory Coast as well that
Oh,
happened
wow.
last year that I want to partake in next year. But yeah, some of the festivals they're excellent, places to really tell our story. But some are better than others. So we're selective in the ones that we go to. Especially, we want to go to ones where we're pushing our brand, where we think that we can enter the market in that location. There's one that's coming up in France as well that we would like to partake in, hopefully in the spring. So that's our hope for now, and then we'll see. Hopefully, something very interesting comes up on the continent as well. But who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. See, I never would have. I need to Google better because, just going to hang out and, um, because I'm just going as far as
Mhm.
media, but being introduced to more rums, um, that I would not necessarily be, have the ability to even try would be at, say, in Germany or France. And, okay, that's really, really cool. All right. Um, Let's see, what else did I have for you? Um, we talked about our milestones. Think we pretty much I think that I've given you all of my little ditties in my head. Um, and it's been really interesting to hear about the rum and hearing about the experience. And I know that we have several people that are in the key places that you already have the rum at, which is DC, DMV, Atlanta, and
In
the
Houston, yeah, in Texas.
and
There
Houston.
you go.
And Houston. See, my brain is just like Jeff. So make sure that you know those places and it's Total Wine or the little boutique stores.
Yeah, mostly boutique stores. Yeah, at this
Okay.
time, maybe we'll see what next year holds for some of the larger retail chains. But yeah, and
Okay.
boutique stores at this time.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. So make sure that y'all follow um their IG and check those out. And I think that's really all that I have for you this evening. I had a wonderful time talking to you, and it's been a pleasure, Mike. And I hope that either I'll get to Atlanta or Houston. Well, then I maybe closer than I think. So I'll be looking out for that.
All
So
right.
thank you so much. And I guess we will go ahead and head on out.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
The people needed a beer, so the people made one. Crisp, lightly hot, little to no aroma. People's beer. This is spot.